Hi, I'm Brett MacDonald. Congratulations on downloading the activity on how to help engage your team. This is one of my favorite activities to use in a workshop, and it's called What You Can't See. And the neat thing about this activity is that it can be done virtually, it can be done in person, and it can be done with any group size of people as well. To run this activity, each person is going to need about 2 to 4 minutes to share their object and share their story and perhaps answer a couple of questions. So calculate that into how much time you have during that meeting, that retreat day, that coffee gathering, whenever it is you'd like to run this activity. Think about how much time each person would need and what kind of groups you want to run it in. Well, the first step is everyone finds an object to share with their group. And if you're running it virtually, like we are here, the neat thing is I have a whole room that belongs to me full of objects with stories. So it opens up this whole space around us that we often don't recognize. And if you're in person, if you're together in a workspace, then encourage your team to grab something off their desk that has a little bit of something meaningful to them, or something from their bag, or even something that's on their person, a piece of jewelry, a piece of clothing, anything that has just a short story that reminds them of something. So now let me give you an example of what this looks like. And this is not a life-changing story. This is just simply a story to share a little window into who you are with your teammates. So what you can't see in front of me is a fan. And this fan is made of like a thick cardboardy paper and bamboo sticks. And on one side, there is a red maple, or like an orangey red maple leaf, and Japanese characters written in black. And on the other side, there's this image of people in some sort of a dance or a ceremony, and more Japanese characters, and that side's all in blue. And now I'm going to show you the object. And the story that goes with this fan is that I lived in Germany for many years. And when I decided to move from Germany back to Canada with my partner, we decided that we would go on a bit of an adventure and a 3-month stopover in a few different parts of Asia as well as New Zealand. And we spent one whole month in Japan, and we loved it. And this fan came from Nagasaki. So we were in Nagasaki, and it was our first night there, and it was so hot and humid, and we just wanted to find somewhere to eat, but we hadn't done a lot of research into where to go. So we wandered down the street nearby where we were staying and found this classic tiny little door with big fabric curtains in front of it. And we just thought, well, we're starving at this point. Let's just go for it. We'll peek in. And as soon as we peeked in, this couple that owns this tiny restaurant just warmly welcomed, come in. Now, they didn't speak a word of English. We didn't speak really any Japanese. And we had this delightful evening with them of trying to figure out the menu, some of the most amazing seafood we've ever had. And there was one woman sitting at the bar who spoke a little bit of English, so she was helped to translate a little bit. Anyways, at the end of the meal, they ended up gifting us with this fan and a few other little things, and we took a beautiful photo with them. And the next day we printed the photo off and dropped it off at their restaurant. And it was just such a meaningful evening for us. So this fan brings back a lot of memories for me. I'm going to wrap it up there. But of course, as you can see, I could continue with the story. I could tell you more about the trip to Japan. I could tell you about why I was living in Germany, about when I came back to Canada. So this one object opens up an entire story. And from that, you learn so much about who I am and where I've come from, and hopefully opens up the curiosity of the other team members as well to ask questions and learn more. I would love to hear how this goes with your team. And if you have any questions before running it or after running it, please send me a message. I'd be happy to help.